It's the trickery
What?
trickery domain. Word. Anyway, where were we?
You are too white for that.
It's hard to disagree.
We're rolling.
Dice.
Camera.
Action.
Our sponsor for this episode is the wonderful Critical Miss Dice. Be sure to check them out later on.
Well, hello and welcome to the BBEG Podcast, where that stands for Big, Bad, Evil Giraffe on their table, not mine, because I am not with them, unfortunately. My name is N, and I'm with my two wonderful co-hosts.
Who are they?
Yeah, sorry.
What?
Where are they?
Have we been traded out? Something to tell us?
Just say your names. I was being nice for once.
That's why we didn't believe you. Hello, I'm Will.
Hi, I'm Hattie. Yeah.
And it turns out we learned this week that the giraffe actually has a name. This giraffe belongs to one of Hattie and M's flatmates who has been on a cruise and got back recently. Apparently this giraffe is actually called Stevie. And the flatmate got it from
Jerry?
Jerry?
Yeah. Something beginning
Stevie.
with G.
Stevie, apparently.
Stevie now.
Stevie the giraffe.
Stevie the giraffe.
So sorry, Stevie.
Yeah.
Well, today, in keeping in theme with what we've been doing so far, we are going to be discussing the Cleric class, which is a bit of fun. I personally do enjoy a Cleric. I have played two in my time. One for a one-shot where my Storm Cleric got obliterated. Yeah, that was... I cried. That Cleric was my first character death, so it stung.
Oh no!
I mean, even for
but it was a one shot, so
yeah.
So shit happens, and then I'm currently playing a multi-class. I say currently playing. I'm on pause whilst I'm on this tour, but the campaign that our good friend Tyler is doing, I am a multi-class of a druid and a twilight cleric because I like the astrology theme for this character.
So what led you to want to play a cleric? What is it about cleric that you thought, actually, this is just because you hadn't played one, or is it because you like different aspects of it? What led you to a cleric?
So I am trying to do a bit of a thing where I'm not always going to the same class or style of classes. We all know I love my magic, and it is what I, in my opinion, do best when I play. But I have played a fighter for a campaign, and I've done a few one-shots as a barbarian that I brought into our campaign as an NPC. But yeah, so I feel like to know more about each class, you got to play it a little bit. So yeah, that was kind of my thinking. And because of the backstory, I started to write for Christos because he is an Aasimar who is fallen from, I guess, essentially heaven, because obviously Aasimars are from a different plane. But he doesn't know why he's fallen. He can't remember what his life was. All that memory has gone. And then he was raised by tieflings. Because, heaven and hell. Yeah, heaven and hell. And he became a star druid. Oh, my word. Druid of stars. Circle of stars. And then, I went down a really astrological theme for that character. And then I was reading up on clerics because at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to just commit to one. And then I saw Twilight Cleric and went, oh, these two together would be a lot of fun. So... yeah.
So then, when I was reading about clerics for this episode, I didn't know where to place them on the lines of melee combat / healer / magic user. I didn't quite know where to. We don't want to put characters in boxes, but what stereotype?
But you will
what
do anyway.
But it does happen.
I couldn't nail down what these are exactly. So I have. So, as I read, I was like, okay, when you choose a different divine path, it's okay. That kind of gives you a reason to what cleric you're going to be. But the general description, I was like, I don't know what this is.
They are like what
They're
I
the
can
healers of
only
the group.
describe- Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
as,
load
like,
of healing.
the medic.
Yeah.
But they also
And
they're
buff.
the medic with divine intervention. So
And
they
Warham.
will power
Yeah.
their way through and then heal.
That's what that. You
Yeah.
can get like the ranged healers.
Yeah.
My kind of takeaway was they can get into battle and
They
be the
can.
field medic,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
which I
Like,
thought
I
was
guess the difference-
injury.
I guess the difference between like the cleric and the druid, because both have great healing capabilities, is yes, a druid can get a bit upfront and personal, but you're probably going to need to depend on your wild shape a bit, and depending on your circle, that could be limited. So you're probably going to rely on any range spell that you can handle, whereas a cleric, not only do you gain spells that can like buff your players with things like Shield of Faith, that sort of thing, that boosts other people's AC, which can be really helpful. But when you have things like inflict wounds, just like a
Very
spell
different.
as simple.
Okay.
You and I
When
were
Naz
thinking
used
like,
that in our one shot.
Yeah.
When Naz used that in our one shot, it's a spell, but it's like a melee based spell. So you get upfront and personal, and you can fucking smack the hell out of someone so hard. So like, they do have the capability to get quite tanky, especially if you want to start building up their armor proficiencies. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because inflict wounds is 3d10.
Yes.
So that
It's
if
not
you
small.
can if you can start with that early, because I know there's a feat that gives you it, because that's what my monk is using at the minute. But just 3d10, that's mad.
Yeah.
So
at a first level spell.
Yeah. All right. The PHP describes them as they are clerics that are taking up adventuring usually because their god demands it.
Yeah.
I read that and went, interesting backstory. Your god's demanded to, and if you're loyal to your god, you're going to do whatever they say. They go, cool, can you just go and kill all the goblins for me? Don't like goblins. And that's your character's backstory. It's like, oh shit, I'm going to do this because my god told me to.
Yeah.
And then your character arc could be, actually, goblins are all right. Maybe my god, does my god not like them? And investigate that. But I thought just the word demands puts a lot on the character. So I was like, how can you twist this and make this cleric? It's the cleric or paladins that can become oathbreakers?
Paladins.
Paladins are all to do with oaths, whereas clerics are to do with domains and what their deity is, because they get the power through their deity.
Record paladins next time, because I need to know the difference between this. We'll pencil in paladins for the next session.
We can do a comparison video as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's a Sunday session sorted.
There we go. Yeah. But that's it's a fun one to do, and I think the book does it very well with the language that it uses when describing characters, because in, again, paladins, you have a choice. It is you choose to take an oath, whereas this one is very much, this is what your god has said, and if you're running to write this into your backstory, you could have started with like, this is what the whole community is based around. This is the deity that the whole community, while you're growing up, has served. And then you grow up and your god has gone, I choose you! Go! And off you go.
A level 1 farmhand.
Yeah. And it isn't until you get out into the wider world that you realise that it is bigger and people aren't that bad. And that's when you you can question your faith, but you're not so much in the oath breaker thing.
You're not going against it, you're just discovering more and fleshing it out.
Yeah. I think Critical Role actually show that really well in the first campaign, Vox Machina, with
Pike.
Ashley, playing Pike, because she has that moment where she's like losing her
she loses connection
God
to her
powers,
divine.
and then she goes back to it, and the god's like, you've kind of overthought this a bit. Like, you can still be you. You can still be you. Enjoy all these things, because I think part of it was like the drinking, the swearing, and all that. Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I've not really been like staying in line." She went, "No, it's how you go around and like help others and connect with others. That's the point. So I think that actually makes it a bit more fun.
Yeah, that you don't have to go straight down the line. This is my character.
Yeah.
Religion. They can have other characteristics as well.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be the whole thing.
No.
Well,
And it's very
that's
much
what-
kind of like
No, you go.
it's very much life imitating
basically what
art
I was
in
gonna
that
say.
respect.
Mm.
Yeah. Where you can, if we're gonna put this in the realms of unfortunately Christianity, I'm so sorry. But
think
you can
any
have
faith.
those
Mm.
you can have those who are devout and stick to the letter, and you can have
Yeah.
those that appreciate the faith but don't follow it to the book.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can, and they're still getting something out of having that faith. So it's
Oh my
much the
word!
same.
Could you
as
imagine
that,
if
but-
clerics ran off all the religions of our modern day society?
Oh my god, I kind of want to write a book about it.
There we
Note
go.
yourself.
When I come home, we're gonna do a real life one shot.
No.
Yeah, you'll all be stuck in a 9 to 5 on minimum wage,
No.
barely covering rent.
Just living in London.
Yeah, that's what we do now. I'd rather do a one shot based in life-size D&D's layout, please, with the giant dice and running around with hats on. I'd like to do that.
Also, what I do in
If it
real life.
If it helps, I'll make Rishi Sunak the BBEG so you can smack the shit out of him.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Oh, poor me.
It's fine, because if you're a cleric, you can heal him after and then smack him with inflict wounds once more, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Have you learned your? Have you learned nothing? You learned your lesson now. Good healing word.
But yeah, it is what you said. Life sort of imitating art a bit.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
what makes a cleric then? How? Where do we start with building
As in,
a
we
cleric?
talking build.
Yeah, where do we start? If we go, I'm going to play a cleric. What's the best things to do? What the recommended things to do?
Well, I think if you look at stat scores, which obviously everyone has to do, wisdom is what their spells run off. So that is probably wanting to be your highest or second highest. I guess it depends on how you want to play your cleric. And then I think the PHB technically says it should be first, and then strength or constitution should be second.
Yep.
I definitely say those three should be your top three. I would personally, depending on how you want to play your cleric, I think constitution should probably stay third, and then wisdom and strength should be like your 1 and 2.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah,
Just
I agree because we'll get.
Well, you get a D8 as your health barrier for clerics.
Okay.
You know, which is the same as druids.
Mm.
The difference is clerics get fancy armor. So while they start off with medium armor proficiencies, it doesn't take much to pick up a heavy armor proficiency if you want it. Now, personally, I'm not a heavy armor fan all the time because some of them come with some disadvantages. So you got to pick the right thing.
Yeah.
But not all of it is bad. It totally depends on what your class is. And I think the medium armor is sort of perfect for the cleric. But if you really want to beef it up, then heavy makes sense, especially depending on the sort of domain you want to pick. If you're going to get a bit more impersonal with the fight, I guess the heavy makes sense.
There's like 3 domains that goes level 1, you get heavy armor proficiency.
Oh, I had thought of that. That's a good idea.
Like a life domain.
So,
Level 1,
yeah.
heavy armor. All right, done.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I was.
you don't
leaning
have
into
And then you
that.
got the
highest
options.
If you're wearing, if you boost your AC, your health
That
could be
makes
a little
more
bit
sense.
less.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, constitution, obviously.
Harder to hit,
Because you want
but
them
less
to be.
point.
Yeah, but no, because you have armor, so why would you? Yeah.
So,
So I agree. Strength.
I guess strength and wisdom depends on how you want to play it in terms of, do you want to be a bit more spell heavy, ready to heal the party, send out those buffs like Shield of Faith or anything that can help your players before you step in, then yeah, magic should probably be your priority. But if you want it to be that you're not afraid to get a little bit up front more, and then heal and buff where you can, then I would say put your strength first. That's me, because I just think it's personal and what you want is flavor.
Yep, I agree.
You think of everyday people. You could have two clerics and one excels in the magic and one excels in the beating the crap out of someone. Do you get what I mean? Like, but it's normal. So why not have that? Why? I hate it when people go, "Oh no, you shouldn't put strength there. It should definitely just be the magic." I'm like, nah, it's preference.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said it before, and we'll say it again. You don't have to stick to the stereotypes. Whatever you write in your backstory, that's the way you can play your character. Don't listen to other people going, well, you should do this. Well, no, you haven't read my backstory as to why I am doing this.
Yes.
And the same could be said for races. If you're creating it and you're like, yes, a cleric, you can follow the traditional, I think it's dwarf that they recommend, or hill dwarf.
Yeah,
they do
hill
give
dwarf.
you, racial bonuses that you need. But if you want to, you could choose anything. You could choose literally anything.
I think it'd be really interesting to do Tiefling Cleric.
That's what I was
Heaven
thinking.
and Hell, and you got that clash of, I'm trying to prove that Tieflings are good, but the stereotype and the you know what I'm trying to say. I just need to. That's my aim for this campaign, is to teach people. Not all Tieflings are bad.
Yeah.
So
don't judge a book by its
Tieflings are the racism of D&D in that sense, because they're just judged on the way they look. So again, it's stereotypes. It's like looking at a chav and going, or someone who's dressed in a certain way and being like, oh, you're just a chav, when actually they could be highly intelligent, one of the nicest people you've ever met, but just because what they wear or where they maybe come from, you've thought they're less than, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
But also, Tiefling as a death domain cleric, that seems pretty spicy to me.
Yes.
Like, I love going against stereotypes, but I also love marrying a stereotype to something in a class that just goes, oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. But you did, in your notes, Will, mention a very good point, that if you want to stray from the player's handbook...
Yeah, which does recommend Hill Dwarf to get +2 to con.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which is always what you need.
Yeah, the dwarves get +2 to con, but the Hill Dwarves also get +1 to wisdom.
Yeah.
So your spells.
So it fits in perfectly with the 3 even that you need to boost, or are recommended to boost when building.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you have also put down a Minotaur.
Minotaur, they get boosts in strength and wisdom, +1 on each.
Yeah.
So if you want to be that upfront spell caster, the healer, ask a DM, are you cool if I stray away from the player's handbook? Minotaur.
Yeah.
I think great little... Also, the imagery of like a big buff bull person with a little helmet on.
Yeah, teeny tiny. In the middle.
A fun one could always be like the Eladrin elves. They're like the Feywild sort of elves.
Yeah.
And I mean, a elf, it kind of makes sense with cleric, because if you look at... I look at Galadriel from Lord of the Rings as cleric vibes. I'm not saying she is... But also, when you look at things like Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that, whenever they had a depiction of like a cleric-type creature, they were always like the mystical elf. It was always that sort of...
Yeah, the prey and the aura. The aura of the elf stereotype.
Okay.
Imagine an Aarakocra as a cleric. That 50 feet flying speed.
Yeah.
Swoops in, heals, bash, and flies out.
The God Squad.
I like that. That was good. New one shot done. There was also another one. The Furbolg.
Yes.
I've never heard of this class until reading up it. What the hell is this?
I was going to say, do you know what it is?
It's not in the player's handbook. So did we know that it gets +2 to wisdom? I was like, oh, okay, beautiful. But I don't know what it is.
Hold on, let me go.
The picture is, it's the blue, big nose.
Oh.
I've never heard of this. Do you know what this is?
They're kind of like...
Oh, look.
Yeah. They're kind of like... Focus.
So their class
funky.
is their class is like a reclusive race of the giant kin, so they're related to
Yeah.
giants, which kind of makes sense with their artistry. And
Yeah.
then I think they're typically like
They look like the love
mountain-based,
child of a dwarf.
hillside-based, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's like if you're just going straight up for stats, +2 to wisdom. I probably should have wrote some stuff about Furbolgs, but I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
We'll know what they are.
We'll know what they are, and we'll know what those are. I'm a resident expert here.
You can't expect me on
Assume.
everything.
Yeah, so I remember seeing that because on D&D Beyond we had access to all of them and scrolling past it and going, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
He looks kind of goofy. And like, that's not how I imagine the character I'm playing. I don't imagine him looking goofy.
Yeah.
So, but if you're just going pure stats, min-maxing this shit, +2 to wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Furbolgs, especially if you already have an idea about what sort of domain you're going to go down, Furbolgs would fit really nicely with the nature domain.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
They have the innate spell casting, which can be helpful for like defensive sort of stuff. But they're...
Yeah. I mean, we've already spoke about like would you go down the con or the strength, because you can always get heavy armor and shield proficiencies as well.
Yeah.
So like say, do you want a high AC and low health or lower AC and high health? So that's kind of what we already spoke about, but the proficiencies you get, I wrote a point here. So your skill proficiencies, you can choose 2 from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, or religion.
Yeah.
And it's meta-gamery, but I've highlighted insight and persuasion. Those are the 2 that come up most in the games I have played. Why would you not choose those? Depends if you want to go...
but again, it depends what you want to build, because sometimes history would be helpful, and sometimes medicine would also be helpful.
Okay.
And
So
religion makes thematical sense.
Yeah.
Yes, theme sense.
You are a cleric, so if you're going to have boosts anywhere, but
So yeah, in terms of but this is a personal preference. In terms of your own personal game style, those 2 would work perfectly for you.
Yes.
Whereas I know from my own roles that I am terrible, so I would maybe go history and medicine, because I know that like I'm either not going to be able to save someone and it's okay, or I'm not going to know about some knowledge.
Well, I suppose actually, that would help if you're playing the field medic kind of style. Medicine would help if you need to get someone back up and you need to get higher than a 14 to kill their stable now.
The medicine check is handy if you don't have healing spells.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the case of if someone's in death saves, anyone can run up to them and be like, I want to try and stabilize them. That's going to be a medicine check. Yeah. And obviously, hopefully, the cleric will have a better chance of that, because I've done a medicine check before trying to stabilize someone and I had a +0. It worked out. I did. I was like, well, it's 50-50, pure 50-50. If they're meant to die, they're meant to die. But I was lucky. But obviously, if you're not good in that situation, you make that character automatically fail another death save.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're rolling death saves, do you add anything to it? Or is it just straight up 1 to 10, 11 to 20?
Up.
I'm pretty sure it's straight up D20.
Just straight up.
At least
so it's pure luck. Ow. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
To the point where you can get dice that are specifically crafted for death saves, where half of them have skulls on and half of them have hearts on, and you can just roll it without numbers and it will tell you instantly if you've passed or failed.
Yeah.
Like it is 50-50. You could do it with a coin.
The only thing I would say with those dice, I still want my nat 20 and my nat 1 on there, because if you roll a nat 1,
I found a company. They do the nat 1 and nat 20 differently. So the nat 1 has a gravestone on it, and the nat 20 has a sun, I think. So you can roll it, And if you get the gravestones, it's just instant. Which is why we don't let me do those.
Let's find that company so we can show off those dice.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. But yeah, no, they've made them.
It's my 30th in June. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Noted.
I mean, yours is soon.
Mine is soon, but it's okay.
But yeah, no, you're right in terms of those sorts of proficiencies. And I think that's maybe a good thing. It gives a cleric scope to really choose and scope out how they want to build a character. It's not just a traditional, I'm a straight-laced religious nut freak who can heal people from the power of God. It's, no, I have a deity that backs me up and I can don some shiny armor and beat you to living hell.
Yeah.
In the name of my deity.
In the name of God.
Yeah.
In like that
Father and the Spirit.
I forget who Lysander is, by the way. That could be a war deity.
I'm going to need to look this up before it goes on air.
I know Shah is light.
And yet you did not choose that one. You chose the one you didn't know. Oh, God.
Well, shall we cover some features?
Yes. There's not many level up features that maybe I read the book wrong, but it looks as if it just was a 10.
But again,
I get what you're saying. We kind of covered this with.
Yeah.
Oh my word! What
is it? Druid? Where it jumps from like 1 to 14?
They have spells. Remember, so their features aren't going to be as many as a full melee character like a ranger or a fighter, barbarian, rogue, because they get so many more spell slots. Like ranger has the smallest amount of spell slots out of all the magical classes. Whereas clerics get more than what a ranger does. So in that sense, it's balanced. So you might not be getting features every level, but you're getting spells pretty much every level.
But you have ability score improvements that happen at 4, 8, 12, 19.
Yeah.
So they fit in the gaps of you have level 1, you choose your domain, and then at level 2 you have your
channel
spells
divinity.
based on that channel divinity and all of this, and then as you slowly go, 3 you kind of miss out on, but it's okay, you have spells. Then from 4 you get an ability score, 5 you get another spell, 6 is another one where I'm not entirely sure if you get anything. But
you use channel divinity twice and a divine domain feature. But looking at the spell slots per level, you get fucking tons of them. So that's whilst there's not much happens in between, if you get a hell of a lot of spells, you can build however you want with those.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did look at you get domain spells and it stops at level 9.
Yeah.
And then when there's nothing till where is it's interesting.
Yeah. Think of their channel divinity the same way how wild shape works. You've got that table, it gets boosted every so many levels and you get more chances to use it or more slots to use it. So like level 2 channel divinity is turn the undead. Basically, do I remember this correctly? Turn the undead. Basically, all the undead creatures, you can get them to walk away from you. They don't want to be near you.
Depending on your level, that gets faster and faster until you have the ability to just destroy them.
Level 5, if they fail their save, they are destroyed.
Yeah.
Depending on chance rating level.
Yeah. But up till that point, they have the ability. So they start by just walking away, and then it slowly gets faster where they are physically climbing over shit to get out of the way of your divine power.
Yeah.
And I was like, this could turn into Benny Hill kind of comedy.
And then just think, level 10 is divine intervention, which is another boost on this. And you can call your deity for assistance on basically anything.
Yeah. Need help with
and all
taxes,
you have to do, you have to describe, that's what I kind of love about it, you have to describe what it is you want them to do. So this could be very much, God, I need you to take out these 50 people and just do me a solid. You could be in the life domain or the nature domain where your God is about healing, but you're just do me the solid. I suppose in the life domain, you can be like, it's still life. Their souls will just come to you a bit sooner. Take them out, please. You roll, and you either have to roll your cleric level or lower.
Yes, that's the bit I found interesting. I had to double check I read that right. Or lower.
Or lower.
So it's like you have to really suck your roll.
This would be perfect for me.
I kind of like that though. I like how that works though.
Please help.
But it does kind of make sense when you think, oh, you are essentially praying for your god to intervene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Hail Mary at the end of the day, isn't it? Like
everyone,
everyone,
quite literally.
Everyone is dying, and you're in the middle of the battlefield. Like, please.
But the bit is, you can describe what happens or what you'd like to do. You roll your cleric level or lower, but then the DM decides how they intervene. It could be, and then suddenly a thunderstorm hits, or suddenly a big gust of wind blows the fog away, and you can now see the enemies clearly. You don't have disadvantage on your attacks anymore.
Yeah.
Or it could be a spell, it could be a nature thing, it can be a Deus Ex Machina thing.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting that it goes, this is what I want. DM, the god of the game.
Yeah. Do we
what happens?
Yeah. Would you allow DMs of the table if I rolled and asked my for divine intervention in the middle of a battle? Would you allow it? Would you allow the god to come in and wipe out the enemies from the board, or would you allow certain things to make it possible for the team?
It depends on the situation.
We're all down. Most of us are in death saves.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Because you only get to use this ability once every 7 days, so you're taking a big chance on that. If you roll higher than your cleric level, so you've just wasted your turn. You could have healed someone, but you've chosen to look up and go, please help me right now.
Yeah.
So if it was, everyone's down, I just need my god to intervene, I'll happily go. Yeah, we're going to kill off a couple of enemies.
I myself am egotistical as a deity and would have to put it down to what sort of offerings you have been giving to this point. And if you have not satisfied your god...
I knew this was coming. I knew you'd come back and be like, make a sacrifice. Regardless of role, you'd be like, you have to sacrifice an innocent. I'm like,
but maybe that's the way you could do it. If it's that.
No, I'm not saying like that. Like, if you've not been to temple in like a few weeks and not brought any sort of offering, are you really being faithful to your god?
There is literally, we'll get onto the domains later, but there is literally a domain that goes, yo, this one wants you to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
So playing on that, if you haven't made enough sacrifices, they could go, I can intervene for you. I can clear the route of this path of enemies so you can get to a player. However, the next town, you're going to have to kill 3 people to... You're going to have to take out 3 people to make this worth my time to help you. So if you can make a bargain with your deity.
Yes. That's what it is. And then again with your DM. So even if it's for your deity through your DM is the bargain you have to make.
So imagine the whole party is down, and you pray to your deity, and we just looked up which domain it was that wants sacrifices. If you are part of the Tempest domain that actually encourages sacrifices to the gods, and you go, I just need your help right now. I need a clear path to get someone up. Please help me. And they go, yes, but you must make 3 sacrifices in the next town. Imagine the next session where you have to explain to the party, I was able to heal you,
but now I'm about to go
I
do
have
some
to
bad
go and kill
things.
some people, and I need your help to get away with it, please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a horrible person, but yes, I would definitely do something like that, but I would make it a lot more personal.
Oh, what do you mean?
Your firstborn child.
It's like, you can say... No. You can save your friend, but a member of their family has to take its place.
Oh, no. My brain has just gone. My DM brain has just gone. Okay, so your backstory. You go back to the town and you are reunited with your family that you've not seen in 10 years. And then...
No!
The cleric has to take out one of the member of the family, and
while they're there?
Yeah. Like, oh shit, no, it has to happen now. This is the one time we're in the town. I have to take a life of one of the family members. Imagine trying to play that around the fucking table.
You two are chaotic. That is so...
People in the comments be like, will not let them
No.
DM near my table.
Never get invited back.
But
That is.
I mean, it would make
Yeah.
an interesting situation. And how would you handle that as a group? What dynamics
Yeah.
would that then
You got to have a lot of
cause?
trust in your party that this isn't gonna.
Yeah.
You'd also have to ask the player to go, is this okay that I'm gonna have to at some point?
I'm gonna have to
Again,
kill
this
your
is all
father, I'm sorry.
hypothetical, but that is something
Yeah.
a conversation you'd have to have. That is so good that you now owe them one of their family souls, but you have to ask.
Especially
if it's okay.
if the deity has chosen the family member. So you're just sitting down to family dinner and one of their family members is glowing that you can see, and you're like, well, I guess it's gonna be Uncle John today. Like, you know, like,
Maybe that's the thing. Do you know what? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the deity seeks out the evil in each family. So it's his version of doing good, but you're still there like, and that evil could be that they're just not the nicest one of the family, but compared to the rest of the family, they are the dickhead.
Oh yeah.
Slightly drunk Uncle John just has to go because he gets a bit too drunk too often.
He's a loudmouth at the family dinners. And he makes a scene of himself, and the deity goes, kill him.
Yeah.
Kill him. He brings this.
Back in my day.
That's so good. So Cleric, so going back to it, divine intervention.
Yeah.
Your DM can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that is the price you have to pay.
Yeah.
Or that is how the situation is going to play out if
Yeah.
you have to bargain with your god.
Yeah.
But the be all and end all is the DM has final say in what actually happens in the scene.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that sort of thing should be spoken about before the campaign, just to be like, right, this is what you've chosen as your domain, your cleric, if these situations presented themselves, are you okay with these scenarios? Just to make sure, A, comfortable. If you're picking the Tempest domain cleric, like I did, assuming you've read it and you could understand that could get brought up in game, but it's still good for the DM to point out, this is what it says. If I have a chance to use it, I might. Are you okay with that? And you can still negotiate what the terms are. You could go animals only, evil people only, because then in battles you could get around that way and say, every time I finish the blow and kill that person, that's one of them.
That works.
Without it being like it's in game, it still connects to the domain and what that sort of like backstory bit is, but without it getting too much for the player.
Yeah, without having to make them overthink too hard about the scenarios they're putting themselves.
Yeah. Or too uncomfortable for the party.
But also,
in general.
if you are in the Tempest domain and you have leveled up to level 10, just before you start that session, you can check in and be like, we have now entered level 10. You get this. When you ask for this, because of the domain you've chosen, there will be a sacrifice because you've called upon your god. Just need to make you aware. Let's go over it just to double check.
Yeah. Are you willing to gamble on this?
Yeah, because it will interfere with... Whereas before, it won't necessarily interfere with the party because you will have gone away and done it in private, or they're aware of it, whereas now you are actively calling upon, like, your god in a moment of crisis. That god is going to demand something because of the domain you've chosen. We need to talk about it beforehand because we already know what even if it's like a mini session 0, we know what the rest of the party's, like, red flags are, and I know that I can't describe gruesome death in front of me because I don't like it, but like this is what we're gonna do, and you just check in that way.
Sorry.
But it's not gruesome death. I just don't like bones.
Yeah, you don't like the cracking and the blah,
I
blah, blah, blah.
can't deal with bones.
So that's all you get through leveling up. The rest comes from your domain choice, and you like we said, you get lots of spells. But that just from leveling up, there's only 4 times you get something as a cleric.
Yes.
Because I think each domain essentially you get a feature within the domain where you get it level 1, level 2, level 6, level 8, and level 17. So that combined with the spells fills all those gaps.
Yes, so by level 10, you should have all the main bits of a cleric, and then at level 17, you get the bit of your domain that summarizes everything.
Yeah.
So 1 to 10, you're building your cleric. 17, you become the ultimate cleric.
Yes.
The ultimate
This is
cleric.
your final form.
It's a power level of 9,000. Call me hard.
Well then.
Domains. Jinx, you can't talk for the rest of the podcast.
What are we, 5?
I'm 28 going on 8.
Our sponsor for this episode is the wonderful Critical Miss Dice. The shop is owned and run by the brilliant Jade. She will make her dice in 2 very distinct ways. One is with a master dice, create molds from, to then cast and resell. Or she will 3D print the master dice herself and then make molds from them. From the episode, the Death Save dice was bought in by Cleric's Components. She works with a lot of master dice creators in the community, such as Cleric's Components, Orbital Dice, Revel Broker, Atomic Dice, and Teeps Things, to name but a few. And her dice are competitively priced because of the amount of intricate detail and time it takes to perfect. She's also an avid supporter of the queer and neurodivergent communities, and you can find all of these impressive dice on Etsy at Critical Miss Dice, to view them on Instagram at Critical Miss Dice, and check out the roles and character ideas on Pinterest. They are truly beautiful. Go check them out.
Yeah.
So domains, these are like the subclasses for clerics, and obviously, as we've mentioned before, each class has its own title for subclasses. These again is where you get to pick your sort of flavor for your cleric.
Yeah.
And you get to pick this straight away.
Yeah, level 1 you chose your domain, but then
level 1.
I don't think it becomes... Oh no, it does become powerful straight away. Like level 1, the first one in front of me is knowledge. At level 1 you get two additional spells.
Yeah.
Actually it's the same for most of them.
Yeah, so for the spells, you do get stuff at level 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9.
Yep.
They're just guaranteed. Your domain just knows them. You don't have to pick them. That's what you get for free.
Yeah.
And that obviously, the way what it is, you can learn a lot about the domain you're choosing just from that single spell list.
Yes.
That's it. That's what your domain's about. So if you're struggling with the wording or anything, look at the spells.
Yes.
The spells will tell you everything you need to know.
The knowledge domain is kind of like the spellcaster of this class, because the wisdom lets them prepare more spells. Their spells become more effective. Their cantrip damage gets boosts. And then obviously they get in important saving throws as well, which is great for also things like perception.
Yes. Yeah.
But like what you get, you learn a language and you get proficiency in 2 things of your choice, which covers more, because obviously what you mentioned in building the class, you get a bunch of choices, and then now with your domain you get to pick some different ones, which, looking at the note, Arcana, History, Nature, or Religion, and only 2 of them appeared in the ones before. So again, it just gives you a wide variety.
So before we jump straight into what they get in levels, the knowledge domain, like the gods, what the gods want from them is to learn as much stuff as you can.
Yeah.
However, some gods would like you to share the knowledge. Some gods want to hoard the knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's how the choice you get when you choose a domain cleric. The gods want knowledge.
So after knowledge, we have life.
Yes,
life.
We do. Yes.
I would say this is your typical sort of healer, like your traditional healer cleric, because the gods that you serve are all to do with, life of all sides and how to sustain it, promote vitality and health through healing the sick and the wounded, caring for those in need, and driving away the forces of death and undeath. So like you get those boosts in that situation.
Yeah.
And I think the spells for this domain really just drive that home, because you get things like Bless, Cure Wounds, Lesser Restoration, Revivify, Mass Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
Like
Death
this,
Ward. Very obvious. We're not
the
doing death
spells
today.
say everything what this domain is about. It's clear cut what you are getting here.
Yeah.
So if you
And
want
the
an
fact that-
ambulance, life domain is for you.
If you want to be an ambulance.
If you want to be an ambulance, life domain is for you.
DM, I'm playing an ambulance.
If we came to one of your games and someone said that, you'd know exactly what they were doing.
Could we do it? Transformers one shot.
Yes. Yes.
It'd all be multi-class with it.
Yeah.
With Artificer Clerics.
I mean, I think it would have to be. No?
So the next domain is the light domain, and that is, again, resembled, you get the gist, with the spell list they get. They get Burning Hands, Fairy Fire, Walk of Fire, Fireball.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of fire stuff and light resembling things.
Yeah, I call this like the Ranger Cleric.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Just because all these spells that it gives you, if you look at them, most of them are all ranged based. So if you want to be that cleric who's in the back but still dealing damage, and then only getting involved as a last resort because you have to, I think it's pretty handy. I just think it's perfect for ranged combat.
Okay. Yeah.
I think, looking at it, Burning Hands, Scorching Ray, Fireball.
Yeah.
It's arranged. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Burning Hands is only a 15-foot cone, but everything else like Flaming Sphere and Scorching Ray, they have some decent distances. So you could be at the back. You could, depending on the room or battlefield, if you're in a 20-foot by 20-foot room, Burning Hands is perfect, but you still got that distance. And then you can still be at the back healing people or buffing people as needed.
That's true. That's true.
If you
don't want to get up close and personal, this one is the one for you. Okay, so nature. A bit like a druid, but make it a guardian because you're gathered by your god. And you are protector of the creatures.
Whilst the druid nurtures nature, the cleric defends nature.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you do get some cool things with this because instantly you get to learn a druid cantrip.
Yes.
I know what I'll personally be learning. Give me Primal Savagery any day. Let me turn my nails into talons and swipe your face.
Then get in the battle as a medic cleric.
Yeah.
So good.
Nature, it's still technically nature, but it's Tempest.
The angry side of things.
Tempest is the angry.
I guess this is if you want to indulge in your Thor fantasy or your Zeus fantasy. You get a Warhammer. You can summon some lightning. Why not?
The next two are probably the most mythical out of them. So obviously we've got Tempest, which we'll cover right now, and then we've got Trickery, which is right afterwards. And they are the two that if you are wanting to create something that is a little more mythical or based on a character that you may have seen on the films or TV.
Have you heard of Marvel?
Then these two are maybe the ones that you want to go for.
Yeah.
So the Tempest domain is the one we brought up earlier, and they're the angry gods. They want sacrifices.
Yeah.
And that is very much resembled in the things you get through through the levels here. And the spells you get. Thunderwave, Shatter, Cool Lightning, Ice Storm, and then there's Insect Plague. Sorry, can your sacrifice be that you just kill the crops of this town, please? Insect Plague.
Yeah. Plague of locusts. Send them in.
Done.
Like
this one wants chaos. It wants chaos.
Yeah. You also gain bonus proficiencies with martial weapons and heavy armor.
So you can be Thor.
You can
Cool Lightning with your heavy armor
and your big ass hammer.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. And when you get stuff like Wrath of the Storm,
Lightning Hellish Rebuke.
Painful, but we like it.
Yeah, and you can use that feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier.
It's a helpful thing to do.
All I said was, all you said was painful, but I like it.
Yeah,
So that's why you got the weird side.
No. Context is needed. Well, you can't just say that.
Cold open.
I actually have to agree. I think that's the one.
No.
Painful.
No.
And then can we just play S&M in the background?
Okay, no. I was talking about the spell, obviously.
Yeah.
We're going to go from one Marvel character to another because the next domain we're talking about is the trickery domain. Word. Anyway, where were we?
You are too white for that.
It's hard to disagree. So, we just talked about Thor. Now let's jump over to his stepbrother, Loki. Yes, this is the one where you can be a little bit sneaky. You can fool people. You can mess with people's minds.
Yeah.
And one of the book literally says, like the god Loki.
Yeah.
It's one of the suggestions. So this is your inspiration.
Yeah.
If you want to be a little goofy fella, this is for you.
Yeah. And the spell.
You get the advantages. Sorry, you finish those spells.
I was just going to say the spells also reflect this. So again, if you're not down for all of the reading, you can literally pop in and see that from the first level, you instantly get Charm Person and Disguise Self. So
says it all, doesn't it?
Perfect. What you want. But then going through, you can Mirror Image, Pass Without Trace, going all the way up to, is it Dominate Person? Modify Memory that you get level 9.
Which is...
So back to the pain, but you like it.
Swear to God.
Time to move on to another god.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's the last one of PHB. Then we're going to quickly rattle through the expansion books domains. But the last one, what's the last one of the PHB?
Is War Domain Cleric. I like this because anyone who knows me knows how much I love my Greek mythology. So I love stuff that I can base that sort of thing on. It's a god of war. And the cleric can follow a range of exciting, of excelling in battle and inspiring others to fight. They're also they're following gods of destruction and pillaging. So, there are some more neutral gods, like Athena is a god of war, if you look at it, and she is, battle strategy. So you don't have to take it all from a evil standpoint like Ares. So they can be more support warriors and whatnot, but that just depends on the flavor of how you want to play your character. You get all these spells that show off these skills, like Shield of Faith. Again, you're boosting your AC. Spiritual Weapon, that's a great spell. Spirit Guardians, so you're summoning things to help. Stone Skin, which again, it's more AC. You can't go wrong with some of that stuff.
If you want to be an absolute tank, War is for you, because who doesn't?
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
But that's all the PHB domains. Let's head into the expansions.
So there's 3 in Tasha's, isn't there? Order, Peace, and Twilight. So shall we take one each?
Well, Natty, you first.
Okie dokie. So the Order domain grants you their heavy armor proficiency, an extra skill proficiency, which are 2 very useful things, and the abilities that encourage buffing allies and allowing the cleric to charm and immobilize enemies. You can cast enchantment spells as bonus actions, and Order clerics learn spells such as heroism and hold person and compulsion. So all things that are very kind of, I want to say organized. It's like an organized group. They're going to hold and organize the hold person.
A domain that revolves around people.
Yeah.
You can get people set up how you need to get them set up.
You can organize them. Organizing group functions this one is for you.
If only we could organize a session where everyone can attend.
Yeah. You are an Order domain cleric.
The next one is the Peace domain cleric. This divine domain gives skill proficiency, a nice bless buff in Emboldened Bond, and I summarized it. It's like a D4 bardic inspiration, and as you level up, you can give it to more people.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It doesn't say you can't only give it to one person at a time. That's what I read. It doesn't sound like you can give it to multiple people at a time.
Huh.
Lovely. And then features that prevent and reduce damage. And Peace Clerics learn spells like Beacon of Hope, Aura of Purity, and Sanctuary.
Aww.
So this is the safety one. This is the one that wants to keep people safe the most. The hardest. Gotta keep people so safe. And then M, this is the one you've played. You take it.
Yeah, so Twilight Domain. Most people enjoy dark vision because it's handy. You get 300 feet worth of dark vision with this subclass. This also gives you the advantage on initiative rolls, which can be really handy. You can cast like an aura that heals and protects your allies. The ability to fly in dim light or darkness. And, well, Twilight Clerics bring the comfort to those who seek rest and protect them by venturing into the encroaching darkness, learning spells such as Sleep, Aura of Vitality, and Fairy Fire.
Which, sorry, you can see for 300 feet in the dark, and you can fly in the dark. So you just go...
Yeah, you become an aerial assault.
Aerial assault. You can just go, I can see them 200 feet away. I'm off.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I'm a fly with my Warhammer, and every 50 feet just cast inflict wounds on whoever I'm flying past.
Yeah. Because why not?
Fantastic. It's so good. And then there's 2 in Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
You two take these.
And Grave.
So the Forge one I thought was very interesting because as much clerics believe in the higher deities of they're going to look after us, Forge clerics know how to make stuff and imbue stuff with magic.
Yeah.
That's what I could take away from this. They have been blessed to create... Sorry, I'm not reading my notes. The Forge gods bless them with the power to create and destroy the fires of the Forge. So that's resembled in their ability to make stuff and their fire background. When you learn things as heat metal, magical weapon, and wall of fire. So again, I think it's a very fire-based one, which is odd because you have that with the light domain. But this one, it gives you a solid background where you can make stuff. Yeah, you can. So I think I would argue as a DM, if they go, I want to make a sword, I go, cool, you get advantage on that because of your background. That's something I would do. But DMs take that how you will.
Fair enough.
No idea.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And the next one is the Grave domain. Now this, again, similar to, where am I going with this? This is very similar to the Life and Death domains. This is probably where I'd put that one. Because you are very much respect the dead, pay homage to them. You're able to put restless spirits to rest. And then destroy the undead wherever you find them. You're also able to ease the suffering of the dying. And your magic allows you to stave off a creature's death and refuse to use magic. But you're, able to refuse to use magic to extend someone's mortal life. So in the bounds of their living, you can help them through it, but you're not able to extend it past its means. And you get spells such as False Life, Revivify, and Vampiric Touch, which I think is a nice add-on.
That's a twisted one. I like that. The 3 examples I'm giving that one. Yeah. That's a twist.
Yeah. To me, this is the solid Death Domain Cleric.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bringer and...
Because you had Death Domain in like earlier editions, and then it didn't quite come into 5th the way it has done. I would say this is how they've introduced that.
Yeah.
The cleric giveth, the cleric taketh away.
Yeah.
Is this.
But I also like the fact that after saying you can't extend magical means, you then give them Vampiric Touch and you turn them into a vampire. Yeah. It's just like you have now extended it via magical means anyway.
Yeah. And like you look at death as a cycle. Some people think death is always inherently evil, and I don't think that's the case. Life is a cycle, and I think this kind of shows that it's kind of that, well, it could be that time, or no, I have the power to say it's not your time just yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You can use it as a mercy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just to help.
That's true. Yeah.
So depends how you want to play that one. You can do many things with that one. You are in
Oh.
control. You are you are dead.
Yeah.
Mad ting. In summary, mad ting.
Mad ting.
Clerics. We are pros and conning clerics.
Yes.
I think any sort of pros, you look at cleric and healing capabilities.
Yeah.
Damage boosts, depending on the domain that you pick. AC boosts, again, with certain domains. I think there's great roleplay opportunities for clerics, especially with the skills that you can get proficiencies in. It gives you a lot of scope to play with. I don't see a lot of negatives, if I'm being honest, apart from you're probably going to be the first target in a fight because everyone will know that you will come packing with healing spells and they don't want you to stay around.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I can say the imagery of this one, that was my biggest pro because it sounds a little bit main character syndrome, I'm going to be honest, but you can get in there, you can hit hard, then you go, guys, don't worry, I'm going to heal you as well. Is that a pro or a con? You can do a lot of stuff, but it comes across as main character syndrome.
Oh no,
I'm going to do everything, you guys are here.
Based on what you've just said, I'm going to create a cleric, but make them a surfer dude. So they turn up and they're like, "Sup, people, it's all cool, I got this." And
like, walk into battle with the heavy armor on, like, what's up?
And then it's like,
so for theme, would he be a Tempest cleric?
Yeah, just to fit it all in. Yeah, but like his deity's sacrifices his fish.
Poseidon?
Yeah, so it's just like, yo, my dudes, I was chilling and I'm gonna heal you. Don't worry, my brother. And then just continue on through life.
And the sacrifice is they like lightning strike the sea and just fish come to the surface.
Yeah, it's like dinner, everybody. Like, nailed it.
Oh, that'd be cool though.
I want him.
I gotta kill the fish, but I've fed the village. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah. Like, very
This is where you find out the inner turmoil of the surfer dude is that they're vegan.
Yeah, they can't eat what they have produced.
So everyone's like, it's not a human life, it's fine, but they are suffering deeply
like,
on
my
the inside.
God, I did
what have I done?
Yeah.
But I think, the pro is you can do a lot by yourself, and that is also my con. You can do a lot by yourself. The party or the players might consider you a little bit, oh, you're just doing everything, mate. Why?
Yeah.
Give us our time.
I think if you let the power go to your head and you start to play that way as if you are the only important one in the group, then you run the risk of not being fun at the table and people not want to play with you, but also landing yourself in situations in the game where you are on your own and you don't have the others around because you're not invincible. And if a DM is clever, they know there are magic items that can restrict shit.
Yeah.
And I will be the first one to start that out, and I've done it before.
Yes.
I stopped a druid from using their wild shape. I can stop a cleric from using their channel divinity.
Yep.
It's very much, I think I loved reading about a cleric because it comes up with so much imagery of being, I love films like, have you seen Hacksaw Ridge?
No.
It's literally this guy who was afraid to fight.
Yeah.
So when he was enlisted into World War II, this is a true story, by the way, he was the field medic and he was running in and dragging bodies out with the fight and trying to heal them as like strap their legs up and stuff. And that's like, oh my God, that resembles Hacksaw Ridge to me. I love that film. I would love to be a field medic cleric.
Yeah.
I love the imagery of this one. Yeah. I couldn't find many cons. The domains are so varied that there's something for everyone. If you want to be the power hungry guy, go Tempest. If you want to be the trickery guy, I'm going to see how I can cheese the situation, go Trickster, trickery. There is so much I could not find. I think when we rank this is going high for me. I loved reading about this class.
Yeah. I kind of like that it becomes like a little, if we're going to put this in real life, like Hacksaw Ridge, it becomes like you are part of, in the army, you're part of the priest squad, so the god squad, you beam in, you bless those who are dying, and then you leave. And you're also a field medic, so you can bless those who are dying and then drag off the ones that are about to be diseased. And then depending on your domain, you then have the ones that are like you can go in and help them with their passing or heal them or like vampiric touch if you want to. Just lols.
Sorry about this, but gotta do it.
Yeah. So you're able to, but I feel like there is, for me, too much choice and too much going on.
Really?
Yeah, I like
Is that your con?
That is my con. My con is that as much as like from level 1, it's like you haven't even got to grips with what this character can do yet, and you're already having to choose the path that you then stick to. And I just feel like I would want it most at level 2, and I feel like that's a happy medium because you have level 1 to come to grips with magic if it's your first time, or understand the character or the way the game is going to then be like, I choose this divine path.
And it's very good because one of the campaign that I'm running while M's away, one of the new players, never played before, she's done a one-shot, has chosen a cleric, and I didn't even think about this. That's a lot for them to deal with.
It's why I try to sit next to her the majority of the time. She's like, can I use this spell? And I'm like, here's what we're going to do. You read through, assess what's going on, and you go as if you're going to do it, and if it doesn't work, we'll come up with a backup plan. Because that's the only way for you to manage and deal with the spells list that you've been given, because it's not small from level 1.
But also as well, I was more talking about, this is her first mini campaign that she's doing, and you're right. If you chose this domain, this is your path now. You don't get to experience the rest of what other characters can do. This is the path that you signed up to. There you go for it.
Exactly.
And so that's a lot for level 1 to go, oh, I'm not really experiencing everything, and you're right. There's a lot to manage spells and story-wise. And
However, to counter that in terms of, I totally understand what you're saying with you don't get to experience everything because you've picked it from the off-bat and you are going down one path. Let's look at people as an actual thing. People question faith and whatnot all the time. So if a cleric turned around and said, I don't think I'm following the god that I actually think is right, I, as a DM, have no issue with going, okay, we'll have a think. And I think you'd have to find a way, maybe as... I don't think you'd just be able to walk away instantly and have... Say you were level 8 cleric in this domain and be level 8 in this new domain instantly. There'd have to be a sort of like a swapping situation. So could I go, okay, well, you're still level 7, but now you've got level 1 in this because you're starting to question and have a bit of... there have to be more straightforward ways to do it. But I just think it's not without the realm of possibility for a character to question who their deity is and go, I don't think I'm following the right one, especially if you started off with an evil deity and that's not your alignment.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fantastic story arc as well.
To go, for story-wise, that would be great.
At level 7, you're right, they're starting to switch over, but then at level 10, when they get their deity can intervene, there's a clash between the two deities. And like, now who do I follow? I have to choose now. Who am I going for? And that's when it happens. Then level 10 to 15, the old deity comes back for fucking revenge.
But this is all well and good if the campaign that you're in runs for that long. If you're playing
that won't work for the campaign we're doing.
If you're running something that's levels 1 to 4 and you get to level 2 and you're like, I don't like the domain I've chosen, what do I do? You're kind of screwed. Whereas if you got to level 2 and then got to choose one, similar to druids, you reach level 2 and you're like, okay,
I like what druids do.
I want to do wild shape more. Then Moon Circle is for you. You know? And I just feel 100%. Like jumping right in at the beginning kind of not ruins it, but puts a lot of pressure on brand new players
to live up to the expectation of the domain.
Because there isn't enough time for them to like navigate it enough.
I get that.
That's a good con.
But for like experienced players that want a little bit more to do, Cleric is for you.
If you trust yourself to manage that character and the DM trusts you to go, if you don't like it, we can come up with a plan together on how to. A new player would struggle with that.
Yeah, exactly.
A vet player, I would trust them to go, that's what you want to do. Yeah, we can make a storyline out of this if you're not sure.
Exactly. Those are my pros and cons.
It's solid pros and cons.
Yeah, no, it is.
We are to rank them. What are we doing? Has everyone got their pros and cons out of the way before
Yeah,
we...
any more for any more?
Yeah. Okay.
Those are
No.
mine. Okay. Okie dokie. If you were going to rank it, where would you put it? M.
I'm trying to remember where I've put other things because I don't have my list on me. I mean, I can edit anyway. Actually, after this, I never thought Cleric would be overtly me, but at the same time, I am playing one and I really enjoy it. But it's a multi-class, so the Druid is my main focus. But I think I'd put this in my top 4. I think this would be 4 for me now.
Oh, okay.
After going through all of this,
Yeah.
like it was always solid middle because I just know what others I really like. But yeah, this has gone to a solid 4.
Oh, okay. Do you have one, Will? Because I don't know. I don't know mine.
So, on my list, I've used up spaces 3 and 4, and this is written in pen. There is no going back.
There's no going back for you.
I'm going to see how it lies at the end of the series. I've used 3, 4, 8, and 10 so far. That might skew what the release date is from whenever we record this. But I was exact same as you, Em. I heard Cleric, I thought God Squad, I went, is it me? Do I want to play the healer? But then reading, they're not just the healer. They can deal damage. They can get in the fight. I'm like, that's sick. So I kind of want to put it at 2 from the spaces I have. I would agree. I'll put 3 or 4. Ooh. I would put probably 4.
So in an ideal world, it would be 4.
In an ideal world, it would be 4. But for now, what other classes have we got? I'm going to go 2 for now.
What?
I'm trying to think of what other... If the pen would write. I think about...
And what about you, Hattie?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'd probably go 5 or 6 if I'm honest. Just because the con for me is quite a big con, and I'm indecisive. So I would start with like a life domain, and then be like, I want to make a mess, and then have to change. So like,
knowing you're quite chaotic at the table.
I am.
So I think you would, if you do exactly that.
Yeah,
you would go.
That's
I'm
exactly
play the healer. Fucking healer's boring. Let's get in there.
And then we'd be halfway.
No, she'd play the healer, but she'd take trickery so she can be as chaotic as she wants.
That's good. That's on brand.
Yeah, that would be me. Well, I'd be like, I will be the healer. Don't worry, guys. I will save us. Two sessions in, because that's our average. 2 sessions in, I'd be like, I have. I love healing people, but what if I was able to also start fires?
And then play D&D.
And then play D&D.
I feel like the domains are basically personalities.
Yeah, this is why I would be unable to choose, because depending on like how I wake up that morning would depend on what domain I wanted to be. We've had a bad day at work, it would be war. If we've like if
we're feeling a little goofy, trickery.
Yeah, if we're feeling like a little if we're feeling really good, really blessed, then it would be life, like or peace, Like
#blessed.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you play a hipster cleric.
Yes!
Kill runes. #blessed.
Yes! I love it.
I think I just threw up a little bit.
Yeah.
This has been Cleric. That's so silly.
Yep. But on that, no, you're right. This has been Cleric. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find us on a multiple of podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast.
But if you want to watch us, YouTube is where you will find us. Yeah. And if you want to email in and tell us how wrong we have gotten all of these classes, feel free. We accept feedback. And
if you want to send us your list of personal rankings.
Yes, that's better.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you will find us at the BBEG Podcast at gmail.com, and you will find us at the BBEG Podcast on all the things.
Yes.
So yeah, that is us. Thank you for joining us on Cleric. Sorry.
I think in the theme of Cleric, we should go out with a prayer.
Lead us in song, Em. Lead us in song.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for watching. Join us
What,
next
in
time.
song?
No.
Join us next time.